If you were a bender and could manipulate one of the four elements, earth, water, air, fire, which one would you choose and why? Water, because some people deserve to be pea-slapped. Hashtag X200B. Ha ha ha, who? Karen. God damn it, Karen. Don't take the kids. Water so I could give myself an enema and still keep both hands on the wheel. Shit in and get in. I like it. Dot. Water, so that I could easily convert salt water into drinkable water. This show also really started overpowering water as objectively the most impressive. People always jump to blood bending, which is insane, but even the healing is unique to water bending and is a huge add in itself. Air was worse, bend the air out of your lungs and then suffocate you with it. I'm also very concerned by how many of the responses are straight to ducked up ways to kill people. Like is not being able to bend the only thing keeping a significant share of Reddit from becoming serial killers. I haven't seen the show, but I assume that they primarily use bending to duel each other? So fighting is what has been modeled for them. The 100-Year War did bring about a bunch of new bending styles for fighting, but afterwards in the Korra series they did a lot of things with those powers. Since there are many more waterbenders, healing is much better than it used to be. The northern and southern water tribers are much larger since they can waterbend the ice to build their cities. Bloodbending is at an all-time high and extremely hard to do, even in the age of awakened benders with exceedingly awesome abilities. Lightning bending was a very rare trait since they had to practically invent it. Since it became popular and more understood, lightning benders just shoot lightning into power lines and make electricity for the city. Metal bending was once unheard of, but now it's used by police and military for protection and Spider-Manning the shit out of everywhere. An entire city, Zaofu, was built by the metal bending clan out of almost entirely metal and earth. A select few are lava benders. Lava, I guess. Mostly fighting honestly. After the 100-Year War, bending went from a martial art to more of a utility for growth and construction. The old people continue to be disgusted that young people care about flashiness instead of discipline, but that's been happening forever. Lava bending was considered extremely rare and very few benders had the ability to do so. Bolin being able to do so was considered a very impressive feat by even Toph. Haven't watched The Legend of Korra, so haven't seen these things, but I imagine lava bending is impressive because it borders fire bending. Your mastery of earth bending is so great that you can bend earth that it's so closely aligned with another element, that has to be impressive. You have to have a completely different mindset than the average earthbender to even consider lava bending. Bolin can't metal bend like some other earthbenders because he doesn't have the personality for it, where you need to be even more stubborn and headstrong than the average earthbender, but his pro-bending based fighting style is fluid and agile, like water bending, which opened up lava bending as a possibility. Also, one of his parents was a firebender. Earth seems the most practical today. Also, I want to build my own pool for free. If you could bend water, you could just bring your pool with you anywhere. With enough creativity, you could do so with any of them. Untrue. Fire pool would actually be a hot tub. Just so long as it's not a too hot tub. Air, because there are so many ducked up possibilities. No breathing for you. Choke me harder, element master. What? Earthbender is make billions with mining operations and could build a sick rock fort, not a castle, like a giant version of a shitty fort with a dirt floor and no roof, maybe a small cave for when it rains. Good lord, I had no idea this many people liked forts. To all a thank you, this is my best comment thus far, and to the patron who gave the silver, you shall have a special place in the cave. Only the softest dirt for your seat at the table. Loving this Fort Lamau. Air. Say goodbye to all air pollution. Edit, holy shit, this is my top comment by 4 times over. Also thanks for tripling my lifetime silvers. Everyone's talking about world domination and manipulation of people, and then Therese this nice wholesome comment. You go. Water, I want the healing. You might need some practice to use it properly. Might I suggest some light parkour? How do you do parkour on light? Lose weight first. Water. I love the water, and I fear airplanes, so I could travel for free across the world. Plus, I could stay dry in the rain, keep homeless people dry, I could wash my ducking laundry in the middle of my room instead of lugging baskets downstairs. I could even give myself a quick wash if I get too sweaty or if my hair is on its third day but I don't want to wash it. And I could learn blood bending. Blood clot. Never heard of her. Air, because falling to your death is avoidable. Edit, I ride a specific type of bison. You could also stay on the ground. Air. It's everywhere. Space is an entire universe of not having air. Yeah, but how often are you in space? How often are you in space, you spaceman Spiff 902? Duck and wrecked. To be fair, Hess probably an astronaut and was like, bro, didn't see you up there. Is it up there? Or is it down? Which way is down? Hey Vsauce, Michael here. Earth, because it has the most sub-elements. Sand, lava, metal, etc. Water has a decent amount, ice, plant, blood, sweat, etc. Also healing, I think that's spirit bending? I'd take waterbending just for ice. I'm obsessed with cryokinesis. Your username suggests otherwise. A waterbender trapped in a firebender's body. I love putting Cheetos up my asshole. That's really a tough call. It all has to do with the unusual applications of each. With airbending you can do things like force choke people, pull the air right out of their lungs, fly, manipulating air currents, lift and drag, create shockwaves. Hell, you can even create sounds out of thin air since sound is just a wave that vibrates air at a certain frequency. You can create heat and fire by vibrating the molecules of air at high speeds. You can alter weather patterns, both local and global, create tornadoes, hurricanes and downbursts. With firebending you can create plasma, fusion, fission, welding, propulsion, heat. You can generate free electricity, create powerful explosions, radiation. With waterbending you can control the most abundant resource on our planet. Nearly every living thing is made up of some degree of water. You can bend the water right out of something, causing it to turn to dust. You can finally dry out that phone you dropped in the water. You can create rainstorms, thunderstorms, tsunamis. With earthbending you can create entire homes out of stone. You can create massive earthquakes, dust storms, quicksand. You can create complex microcircuitry that even we struggle with today. You can create volcanoes, change the magnetic properties of stone, possibly even shift the core of the planet itself. You had me at drying out phones. Sal's bending, you wet it, we dry it. How can I size? Hey, Tim. You know, maybe you just shouldn't take the phone in the bathroom anymore. No phones in the bathroom, then what are we supposed to do in there? If it's getting wet, you might want to aim down more. I'd probably just bend girders and shit. Bite my shiny metal ass. The kill all humans element. Earth. I'm a big dude and the style is conducive to heavy, forceful movements. The boulder approves of your opinion. The boulder is over his conflicted feelings, and now has ready to upvote you. Fire so I can light the candles on your cake. Happy Cake Day, op! Exclamation mark so kind. Please accept my upvote in return. Happy Cake Day, brother. Thank. I suppose a smart answer would be water because our planet is like 98% water, but I'm not very smart and I like dirt, so I want to be an earthbender. Edit, I overestimated how much water there is. Turns out there's very little of it, if any. You can be Aquaman's nemesis, Dirt Guy. He likes dirt. Dirt dude, come on man, it was right there. Even can get that tattooed on your fists. The Boulder says the Boulder is a great name, the Boulder. Fire. Fire is cool. Finally. All these mother duckers out here talking like they'd be blood bending or flying with air bending, no way. They'd be able to do basic bending if that, and sure as hell wouldn't be pulling off advanced tech with lethal force that only a select few could in universe. But with fire bending you have an employable talent, a constant weapon on hand, universal access to heat, Very necessary for human survival, relatively low skill access to enhanced jumping, at the very least, if not flight. I always looked at it from an availability standpoint. We saw times where waterbenders were denied their element and earthbenders theirs. But you just can't do that to air and fire if you want the prisoner alive. You will also never accidentally find yourself without your element like Qatar in the desert. So from there it's air or fire, and I always preferred fire because of lightning and just more aggressiveness overall. They did suppress firebenders by putting them in a cold-ass fridge, recall the prison in 3rd season I think it was? Skilled firebenders like Zuko wouldn't be affected as the heat comes from within them. Skilled waterbenders get moisture from the air and plants or literally other human beings if they want to. Not to mention they can recycle their own water. If you're gonna say skilled, be prepared what the other elements get.